All righty, then do apologize for the delay for today, but it's all good because we are going to get back on schedule. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to X Talking Ish. But for this morning, do apologize for that. Unfortunately, you'll be only getting me. Will not have Ish today. So with that being said, I'll do the opening monologue by myself. Hopefully, I can get this without my boy Ish. With that being said, let's go ahead and like and share this broadcast so more people can go ahead and tune in on Facebook. And again, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like this page as well. If you are on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube and also go ahead and hit that notification bell for shows like this in the future. And of course, if Ish was here, he'll hit you with that ping. With that being said, also, if you are on Twitter, please make sure you check out our Periscope on Twitter at XTalknIsh. And of course, on my main page on Twitter, I will go ahead and retweet it as well so we can get more people checking out the show. I appreciate everybody, of course, for tuning in, and I appreciate everybody for obviously seeing that the set has changed a little bit. I appreciate Mr. Keon Johnson for letting me know happy birthday. And if you take a look in the back, of course, this is what what beautiful women in your life do for you. This is what wives do for you. I appreciate the happy birthday sign from my beautiful wife, and of course, it wouldn't be a birthday without a birthday ribbon, right? So I appreciate everybody for the birthday love. I appreciate you, Travis. Thank you very much. But we do know that you guys came to talk about football. Y'all didn't come to talk about me and my birthday. And nobody worry about my little birthday right now. We'll talk more about that after we talk about some football. With that being said, since Travis Crowe is here, let's go ahead and get right into the first game of our lineup for today. The Falcons versus the Cowboys. I think this is a very interesting matchup because besides the Cowboys losing last week, the Falcons were able to lose a game that they weren't supposed to against the Panthers. And that was an ugly loss for the Falcons. And most likely both of these teams will be coming in very hungry for a win. In reality, this is a game that the Cowboys need to get back on track because most Cowboy fans are looking at this team as a championship level team, especially at least getting to the NFC championship game. But if you look at the NFC at the moment, it's very top heavy and nothing is promised, especially with Odell Beckham Jr. being able to make his move to LA and go to the Rams. That puts the Rams back into play when it comes to being one of those top teams in that NFC championship game. So for the Cowboys, this is a very important game for them to get back on track. This can also be a trap game for the Cowboys just because they're at home and it's against the Falcons. That doesn't mean that the Cowboys are going to be able to get out of this game with an easy victory. For some reason, ever since Jerry has built the stadium that, of course, has everybody else has now tried to emulate when it comes to the greatness of Cowboy Stadium, it just seemed like the Cowboys playing in that stadium just are not defending home field advantage at the moment. I don't know what it is. It has nothing to do with the fans. It has nothing to do with the architectural beautifulness of what Cowboy Stadium is. It has everything to do with the players. I don't know what it is about playing at home, but it seems like from time to time the Cowboys are a little allergic to playing at home. I feel like this is a bounce back type of game for the Cowboys, and even though my partner is not here, he did give me, of course, his picks for today, and he picked the Cowboys as well. And of course, if he was here, he'll throw out some numbers that would be more than likely irrelevant to what they need to do. But I respect the analytical side that my boy Ish brings. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys are an 8-point favorite. Cowboys, you lost. You lost very disrespectfully to the Broncos last week. This is a game where you have to go out there and take care of business. If not, if you thought the slander last week was bad, 2 weeks in a row. Oh, it's coming, Cowboys fans. I don't see it happening. I think you get back on track this week. But for the most part, let's Cowboys, let's go ahead and do what y'all need to do. Because again, if y'all not If y'all don't take care of business against the Falcons, it's no point of talking about going to an NFC Championship game because I'm just saying. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not also sugarcoat how shitty the Bills have been the last couple of weeks of the season because this was also a team that was supposed to be a easy lock for an AFC Championship game appearance this season. And at the moment, they're looking like, man, can they even secure a top 4 seed in the AFC? The Bills, I think, the same way I'm looking at the Cowboys with the last segment, as this has to be a bounce back game. The Jets have been playing very, very well over these last couple of weeks, of course, with the arrival of Mike White, of course, a guy that nobody saw coming, even not even Mike White saw coming, but because of the nothing but confidence that Mike White has in himself, knowing that he can't do anything wrong, he's out there slinging that thing. And while he's been out there slinging that thing, he's been able to take care of little Jet business as a rookie. And coming into this game, let's remember last week, I don't know if anybody watched the Bills, but unfortunately, the Bills got manhandled against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. And if you were watching that game, you might have thought it was a baseball game at one point in time because it was 6-6 at one point, and the final score, of course, was 6-9. And with Josh Allen, of course, again, I'm not gonna make this stupid joke that everybody keeps making. With Josh Allen on the Jacksonville Jaguars side, showing that hey, I'm Josh Allen that y'all need to be talking about as well. With him taking care of business against, of course, Josh Allen, I think that was a very significant type of win for the Jacksonville Jaguars to move forward and hopefully collect a couple more wins that a lot of people didn't expect them to have. Now, for the Bills, I want to see, do y'all bounce back from this? Because that's a very humbling type of loss. Because majority of people, if you were going to Vegas and you're going to bet, about 80 to 85% of people most likely would probably put the money on the Bills to win that game, correct? With that being said, everybody needs a little bit of humble pie throughout the NFL season. We saw it last week with the Cowboys and the Broncos. We saw it around week 3 with the Titans and the Jets. We've seen it with, again, the Bills and the Jags. I mean, at the end of the day, there are going to be some wacky things that go on throughout the NFL season. And it just seems like that was one of those games. And for the Bills, if they want to be a part of the AFC mix as a championship type of team, this is a game you have to take care of. I don't understand why the Jets at the moment are giving some teams fits, but it seems like sometimes the certain games the Jets go out there with their hair on fire and they take care of business, and there's games they just lackluster and they just want to go out and go play for a check. So at the moment, the Jets are actually allowing 31.4 points per game and also a total of 408 yards this season, which is both most in the NFL. So the Bills, if you want to get on track, this is the game to do it. I don't see you having a better game than against the Jets to be able to get your offense back on track. Josh Allen and the rest of the crew. If you don't do it now, if not now, then when? Because you got the recipe for a good gumbo. You got everything you need. You just need to go ahead and sit back and let that roux sit and let that go ahead and marinate a little bit and go ahead and have you a nice little bowl of rice. Go ahead and take that gumbo out. I know it's getting cold outside, baby, but at the end of the day, right now, this is the Bills gumbo. I know they don't eat no gumbo out in New York, but this week they have to. All right, with that being said, let's go to the comment section right quick. Let's go to my boy Fractual Walnut. He says, this got to be there. Get right game. Yes, I'm assuming he's talking, of course, about the Cowboys in the last segment. Fractual Walnut also says, if they don't bounce back, do you think Coach will be on the hot seat? At the moment, I mean, for the Cowboys, I don't honestly see them getting rid of Mike McCartney right now, especially it's week 10. I mean, it's kind of too late. It seems like he's been taking care of business. There have been a couple of games where there was been some questionable decision-making that you can say, hey, maybe this was a fireable offense, but Jerry Jones likes Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney's a yes guy, so it works out. Alrighty then. Lee also says, happy born day, my brother. Blessings. I appreciate you as well, my boy Lee. Thank you as always for everybody for tuning in today. Let's get into another game which might not look too sexy on the rundown, but let's just peep a little to this game right quick because this is actually a rematch of, let's all remember, first round playoff game last season with the Buccaneers making their run into their Super Bowl championship, of course, with Tom Brady and the crew. And if we all remember going back, that was the introduction of Taylor Heineke to everybody and to the world. And a lot of people, of course, didn't give the Washington football team any chance in that game at all. Taylor Heineke surprised a lot of people. And with that being said, he's not going to surprise so many people again this time because everybody knows what you are coming to the table with. And the Buccaneers are going to take care of business. Again, like we talked about with certain teams in the NFL, this is a game that if you want to be the NFC championship game, hey, Bucs, you got to take care of business. This isn't a game where you let them linger around. I expect the Bucs to put up at least 30 points on Washington football team. Unfortunately, their defense, the Washington football team, was supposed to be their strength coming into the season, and it definitely has not been at all. And I definitely don't see the offense trying to keep up with the Bucs offense. I see, of course, the Bucs the Washington football team scoring a couple touchdowns. I think it'll be 33 to 14 type of a score. But unfortunately, the Washington football team is one of those teams coming into the season that's just have been very disappointing. We expected some high expectations from them. Again, going into the playoffs, even though, let's be real, 9-7 going into the playoffs last season wasn't a great record, but they were able to win the division. And I think a lot of people, especially myself, that picked them to win the division again this season, looking real stupid with egg on their face, and I have no problems taking that L. But the Washington football team, this is one of those seasons where you just might have to just scrap this one and get ready for next season because it's ugly, and it's one of those things where I think as a young core for those guys like a Chase Young and Sweat and those guys they have with Washington, this will be a season that they can learn from and something that they can move forward from, and I think they'll make a change as well with coach. I think Ron Rivera, I think it's his time to go ahead and move on, and I think they'll get better in coaching and they'll get better overall as a team moving forward. Dominique Powell says easy dub and Bucks just lost. I know they did. I know, but again, it's the Bucks. It's the Bucks. You know, they're the defending world champions. Everybody's gonna play them a little differently because it's Tom Brady and them. But at the end of the day, when it's clutch time, who you gonna trust? You gonna trust Tom Brady and them. It's just the truth. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is a game I'm gonna need folks to keep their eye out for because I'm very interested in this game. Besides this being an AFC South matchup, I'm not really too worried about that. I want to see which teams are we getting from these two teams going into this game because as we talked about, we saw the Jags just give up 6 points against a very high-powered offense, and we were able to steal a game at home. They go on the road and go to the Colts, and at the moment, the Colts are scoring 25-plus points in 6 straight games. And at the moment, that is the longest streak for any team. So I'm very interested to see what will the Jacksonville Jaguars do defensively to try to slow down Carson Wentz and the crew to make sure that they are not getting scored on at least minimum of 25 points. I believe the Jaguars can do it. I believe that the Jaguars can find a way to limit the scoring and also maybe limit the opportunities. But when it comes to the not just personnel, but also coaching, I just have to give the edge to the Colts on this one. As much as I don't want to, as well with them being at home, it's very difficult for me to pick the Jags because I don't know if they were able to do what they did last week. I don't know if they can replicate that on an every week basis. I know they can do it once every 4 weeks, but can they do it back-to-back weeks? And that's what I'm worried about when it comes to these Jaguars, especially with, let's be real, Urban Meyer. I know this is Ish's boy. Ish loves him some Urban Meyer. But in reality, we're past the situation of what happened weeks ago. We're past all of that. But right now, week 10 in the NFL season, do you have the locker room? Do you have their focus? Do you have them still motivated to play even though you are 2-6? Do you still have that opportunity for them to look at you and say, "We believe in you, coach, going into year 2"? I think they might do. I don't know. But this game will be very interesting to see if the Jags come out and do what they did last week. Let's go into the comment section right quick. Travis Crow says Jags going to win this game. I respect it. I mean, I don't want to call it a 50-50 game, but it definitely might be a toss-up. But I just like what the Colts have on both sides of the ball. They have Jonathan Taylor, of course. The Carson Wentz to Michael Pittman connection have been getting better and better every week. It's hard for me to go against the Colts as much as I hate the Colts. I have to pick the Colts in this game. All right, now, this next game is a very special game. This is going to be most likely the most important game, not just of the week, but of the NFL season. All righty then, let me let y'all know on the significance of this game. This is a very important game, not just for myself, but also for my beautiful wife. My beautiful wife, she's at the moment, she is 8 months pregnant, and our beautiful daughter will be here in about a month. And with that being said, we actually have a bet going on, and whatever team wins this game, our baby will be able to wear the team onesie whenever, the baby gets all nice and, cleaned off after the baby gets up out the womb and all that good stuff. Maybe not day 1, but day 2, the onesie going to be on there. The point is, this game is very, very important to me. I need my Tennessee Titans to come through. I need y'all Titans to not look at this game as a trap game and knowing that Alvin Kamara is not going to be able to play, knowing that they have injuries across the board for the Saints. I don't want the Titans to come out there and play to their competition, which is lower than. You've been able to beat the Bills and the Chiefs and all these other teams, the Rams, of course, last week, all these other teams that are really good. But there are times we have these hiccups and you play against the New York Jets and you find a way to lose that game, even though you had injuries in that game. I'm not going to make excuses. Injuries are part of the game. But also with Julio being out again, and that's another story for another day. I will let y'all know on that one. Can the Saints maybe steal a game against the Titans? I hope not. I hope not, because, again, I will be the one that will have to suffer for it. But at the end of the day, I'll let everybody know firsthand. It's not about what my baby wears. It's about making sure that my baby comes out healthy and make sure that my baby is beautiful like her mother. And with that being said, Miss Cindy Wynn says, go Titans. No, I'm just kidding. Go Saints. All righty then. I appreciate you, Cindy, for making that little comment. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game because we all know that the Titans are going to take care of business against the Saints. Anytime you play against a team that used to be called the Aints, I mean, let's be real. You got that game kind of wrapped up in the bag. I'm just saying. All righty then. Now, speaking of wrapped up in the bag, this game most likely should be one of those games that should be wrapped up in the bag, but the Steelers, will y'all look at this game as an easy win and end up in a trap game type of situation? I don't believe so. At the moment, the Steelers are 5-3. The Lions are 0-8. And if y'all thought because I didn't have Ish on the show there wasn't going to be any Lions slander, you thought wrong. There was going to be some Lions slander in the day, okay? And for the Lions to get straight mollywopped against the Philadelphia Eagles, that was their best opportunity to maybe get a dub this season. I don't even want, to be honest with you, I don't even want to go through the schedule to even see, the Lions might have an opportunity to beat this team. The Lions might have an opportunity. It's too late. It's too late. Okay? It's too late. You might get a win maybe for Turkey Day in a couple weeks, but I don't give a damn because again, if you don't win that game against Turkey on Turkey Day, y'all might not be just the first team to go winless. You might be the second team the second franchise in NFL history to go winless in a 16-game season and also in a 17-game season. So continue to go out there and break records, Detroit Lions, because that's beautiful. And we're not even going to entertain this game that much longer because the Pittsburgh Steelers should take care of business. Mike Tomlin, I don't expect him to have a drop-off type of game like some of these coaches. And we're going to go ahead and move on because, honestly, it's not too much to talk about. Nobody really wants to talk about it. And the games we have coming up are much more entertaining. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. But on a serious note, the Lions suck. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, let's go ahead and move on with the Browns and the Patriots. Now, this game, I think, might be the best game of the first half of the first slate of games, this 12 o'clock slate, because this is a very interesting matchup on both sides. The Patriots over the last 3 to 4 weeks are getting better and better every week. The Browns, it seems like ever since, of course, the Odell Beckham release and being able to let Odell do him and the Browns continue to do what they do, it seems like they're not missing a beat as well with what they were able to do last week. But now you go into Foxborough, Cleveland, and this is a very interesting matchup because before I came onto the show, I spoke with my co-host about this game, and we were both very we both ended up flip-flopping. At first, he was going to pick the Patriots. He ended up picking the Browns. I was going to end up picking the Browns. I ended up picking the Patriots. And the reasons why, and I'll explain very briefly. Ish believes in that running game still, no matter who's the running back. Even though Nick Chubb is out, he believes that the running game will still find a way to get it done. He also believes the Browns' offense is better by subtraction I messed it up, so I'm not even gonna do it. I messed it up. I apologize. By being able to get rid of Odell, my boy Ish feels like that the Browns are able to play a lot more freely. Don't have to worry about pushing the ball to Odell and being able to play a lot more of a balanced type of attack. He feels like that can be replicated in Foxborough today. With the Patriots, the reason why I chose the Patriots is because now, besides the Patriots having a 1-4 record at home at the moment and being 4-0 on the road, which is very, very different, I believe the Patriots will do what they do, especially with Bill Belichick and taking away your number one option. And we've seen so far this season the way Bill Belichick has been able to, let's be real, take care of these young quarterbacks in a way of making them look real silly on the field. And I think Baker is going to be a part of that quarterback crew for this season. I'm not saying Baker's a bad quarterback, but I'm just saying when you go against the Patriots, you have to earn that victory. And I don't know if Baker will be able to do that today without a reliable running game. And I think the running game will get shut down very quickly against this Patriots defense. And I think that's something that Bill Belichick will make Baker do. I think they will force the Browns and Baker Mayfield to beat them by his arm. And if that happens, I think the Patriots will take advantage. They'll get a couple picks off of Baker, and it will set the Patriots up for a 3 to 4 point victory at home. But going into this game, both teams are 5-4. Now, this is definitely a coin flip type of a game if you're just looking at it just by the names of these teams and not even looking into the actual, the players that are involved in this game. And also, another reason why I feel like I had to pick the Patriots is because of, but besides the injuries that the Browns have, I don't think that the Patriots have as many significant injuries that need to be covered up compared to the Browns. The Patriots have proven to themselves and to the league year in and year out that they can be able to have certain injuries on certain for certain players and continue to keep on moving. So this game for me is very interesting to watch. But if the Browns do want to win this game, they have to jump on the Patriots early. You have to jump on them within that first quarter, that second quarter, 21-3, have them stunned going into halftime, and continue to apply the gas if the Browns want to win that game. All right, the Vikings and the Chargers. This is another game. This is another game that Ish and I were very perplexed on trying to figure out who should win this game, because just looking at it, this should be an easy dub for the Chargers. But the Chargers have been playing very, let's be real, very Anthony Lynn coached like in the last couple of weeks when it comes to certain games that they probably should win. They have not, and some games that they probably should not have won, they have not won. So that's the thing with the Chargers at the moment. They are 5-3, but they are playing in a tough division where 5-3 have you at third place at the moment. And just a couple of weeks ago, you were the number one seed in the AFC. Now you dropped to about fourth or fifth in the standings in the AFC. But for the Chargers, this is just like I talked about with the Cowboys. This is a game where you have to bounce back. With the Vikings, they are 3-5. They can still make a run. But in reality, just looking at the Vikings, this might just seem like they might have to scrap it. I mean, especially if they lose this game, I think Kirk Cousins moves forward. I think Zimmerman gets fired. Mike Zimmer gets fired, and Minnesota starts over because what they have in Minnesota just has not been working. It's been good, but just not good enough. And it's unfortunate, especially all the money that they put into Kirk Cousins and wanting to get, let's be real, a championship out of Kirk Cousins. They weren't paying him all that money just to get him to a first-round playoff appearance. They wanted to at least get an NFC championship game, or at least maybe make it one Super Bowl run. And Kirk Cousins just have not been able to deliver. Every time certain games or seasons or franchise players are always, of course, the spotlight is on the quarterback, but in this circumstance it's very difficult to just throw all the spotlight on Kirk Cousins, because there's been seasons where he's played well for the Vikings and there's been seasons where he's played okay. He didn't play up to his money standard, but overall I think Minnesota will be okay type of pleased, and I think they'll just wash their hands with each other, move along, and we'll see what happens with the Vikings. The Vikings are known, unfortunately, for having all of this talent and just not able to capitalize on it since the 70s, pretty much. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward with the Panthers and the Cardinals. Besides, of course, the addition of Cam Newton back with the Panthers, who most likely will not play this game, who probably won't play until next week when the Panthers are back at home. The biggest storyline, of course, in this game are the injuries that the Arizona Cardinals have for Kyler Murray, also DeAndre Hopkins, and also Rondale Moore. Most likely Rondale Moore will be able to play this game, but it seems like DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray are kind of doubtful and won't play in this game. Even though Kyler Murray has been out for a couple of games, Colt McCoy has been able to take care of business. And when you are able to have a seasoned vet like Colt McCoy, you're able to let him know, hey, just get the ball out to your weapons, let them take care of business, and that's what they've been able to do with the Arizona Cardinals, and with the recent news as well too, with the Carolina Panthers shutting down Sam Darnold. That seems like the Panthers are pretty much saying to themselves, especially with Sam Darnold, hey, you're done. You get you ready for next season. And also recent news as well too. Seems like Cam Newton most likely will be able to come back next season as well to compete for the starting job for the Carolina Panthers. So it's interesting to see what Carolina's doing. I mean, they're paying Teddy Bridgewater at the moment. They're paying Sam Darnold at the moment. They're paying Cam Newton again. I don't know what really is going on with Carolina, but hey, if you like it, I love it. If that's what makes the fan base happy because Cam's back, then hey, go ahead and do what you do. But if you're not able to make a run now, you're 4-5 in a very tough division. It might be time for you to go ahead and move on and get ready for next season. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and move on to Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Of course, this game is a little bit more significant because this is the return of Aaron Rodgers from his COVID-19. I guess you can say he got COVID-19. My apologies, the way I worded it, and it was kind of horrible. But also, Dominique Powell says we finna make some noise. He's talking about his Carolina Panthers. Hey, let's hope so. We gotta have to wait and see. We'll see what happens. But I will say this before we do go into the Seahawks and Packers game. I will say with the Panthers though, do have a hell of a secondary. So if you are going to win this game, it's definitely going to have to be on the strength of the secondary to definitely pull in some takeaways to flip the field, to also give your team an opportunity to beat this Arizona Cardinals team. If you're not able to get any takeaways, it's going to be a long game for y'all. All right, let's go ahead and, like I said, get into the Seahawks and Packers game. Again, this game is more significant because it's the return of Aaron Rodgers from COVID-19. And if A-Rod didn't have what he had, this probably wouldn't be that big of a storyline, but they're going to make it a storyline throughout the whole game. And this is also the return of Russell Wilson. Let's also not forget Russell supposed to be back in maybe about 6 weeks. He's able to come back within 4. I know a lot of people love to joke on Russ, and I like to call him Danger Russ because that's my guy. But one thing I will say about Russ, and I've always said it and I always will say it, is going all the way back to not his Wisconsin days, but back to his North Carolina State days. He got the Mamba mentality, man. It's the reason why he was able to be with Kobe before he passed away. Of course, the connection with him and Sierra, and of course Mrs. Bryant. But on a serious note, Russ got it. Russ don't have no fear, man. Like, Russ gets slept on when it comes to not just quarterbacks, but I'm talking about black quarterbacks. Again, if you black and you know when I'm talking about black quarterbacks, Russ from time to time gets passed over in our generation when it comes to great quarterbacks. Russ is a great quarterback, and when he's done playing, we are going to miss him tremendously. But for him to come back from this injury, I think you definitely have to give him his just due, because it shows how committed he is. It shows how fearless he is to be able to come back and try to will his team to at least maybe a playoff berth. I wanted to pick the Seahawks because of that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks honestly pull off an upset today. But I just feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. We haven't seen him since his John Wick, Halloween, costume and whatnot. So I think he wants to come out and put a killing on folks and let people know, hey, I don't need no stinking vaccine to come out and play my football game. I'm going to go out and go do what I do. No problem, hey, Rod. Do what you do, playboy. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and move on to the Eagles and the Broncos. This matchup is, for better words, this is an ugly matchup. This is ugly. The reason why I say this is because this is ugly. Like it's easy to look at this game and say, you know what? Oh, we're gonna pick the Broncos. Yeah, but the Broncos, besides the win again against the Cowboys last week, they like to play. They like to play a little lackadaisical from time to time. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they do it, but it's the reason why they're 5-4 at the moment, because there are games that they look great in, and then there's games that they just look like, what are you doing? And it also goes to the Eagles as well too. The reason why they're 3-6 on the season, but when they play against, I'm talking about the Eagles. When they play against a team like the Lions, they look like, of course, $1 million football team. But then when they play against, Cowboys and the Giants, they look like baby birds. They don't look like eagles, they're like baby birds. But for some reason, something told me on my birthday, I need to give the Eagles an opportunity. I need to give them a chance. Ish tells me that I don't respect the Eagles, and I don't pick them, and he feels like I always just pick on the Eagles. And I don't think that's true. I don't think that's fair at all for him to tell me that, because I want to not just prove him wrong, but I want the Eagles to go out here and with this young team, and with them out here planting flowers and growing the roots and doing all these things that head coach Nick Scuzzi, I call him Scuzzi, for them to go out and go do what they do. I think they bring that mojo over to Denver. They take care of business by a very, very small margin, because the Broncos at the moment are only a 1-point favorite in Vegas. So even Vegas feels like this game is going to be a very tight and competitive game. And I think the Eagles are able to escape Denver with a win. I wish Ish was here so he can explain his side to this game, because because for some reason, every time he disrespects Teddy Two Gloves, proves him wrong. But then when you want to hop on Teddy Two Gloves train, Teddy Two Gloves say, nah, you know what, I ain't gonna play today. Just because you picked me, Ish. And that's what I think might happen today. I think Ish has horrible mojo when it comes to Teddy Two Gloves. And he gonna stop disrespecting Teddy Two Gloves and calling him Teddy 2 Yards. Because the only person that can talk about anybody with two anything is me. When it comes to Danny Two Pennies. Danny Two Pennies deserves that nickname, because there's no dimes. There's only been 1 or 2 dimes probably thrown in his NFL career, but we're not going to do that. All right. Seriously, though, on a serious note, it's going to be one of them games on that second slate of the NFL weekend, where you're going to look and be like, do I have to watch this game? Like, that's how bad I think it could get. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the last game of Sunday, our Sunday night football game, of course. And, of course, if you tuned in last Tuesday for our post-game recap, Week 9 recap, and also, of course, our mid-season review recap, our boy Casey McKinney is out in Vegas at the moment for, of course, this game. He is out there enjoying himself, and I hope he's a little sober enough to make sure that he's able to get to the Death Star to enjoy the game. So make sure you get to the game first, KC. Then you drink some more, and then after that you can do whatever. So, but with this game, this is another interesting matchup that I think this is a very great game to have on Sunday Night Football, because the Raiders are not a team that's scared of the Chiefs like everybody else sometimes are of the Chiefs. Maybe not this season, but in recent memory. And the Raiders just do not care about the Chiefs the same way everybody is fascinated with them. And the Raiders have proven to them, to not just to themselves, but to the NFL, that they can beat the Chiefs. And with this being a game at home for the Raiders, I have to go with the Raiders. I know it's easy to pick the Chiefs, and they've won the last couple of weeks, and they're getting it back on track, and da. Again, the Chiefs are another middle of the road team, 5-4. Let's stop trying to pump the Chiefs up to be bigger than what they are right now at the moment. They are a good team, but at the moment the Raiders are better than 6-3. So if the Raiders want to be taken seriously, talking to y'all Vegas, Raiders as a whole, spanning out the way out to LA, to Oakland, everywhere, baby. A Raider Nation, baby. This is a game you must have. You're at home. Divisional rival. Y'all hate the Chiefs. I want that Death Star in Vegas to be rocking. There's supposed to be more Raider fans than Chiefs fans this game. Show everybody that y'all can put the things that y'all have been going through, Raider Nation, in the rearview mirror and continue to keep playing good football and get better week in and week out, because that's what y'all been proving to us so far. And if y'all are able to win this game, it might not feel like a great victory in the last couple of years because of how great the Chiefs are, but it really is a great victory for the Raiders to have, to tell themselves that we can do what we need to do to not just beat the Chiefs, but beat anybody in the AFC. Again, if the Raiders win this game, they move up to 7-3, and they're right there with the Tennessee Titans for the number 1 seed in the AFC. So, of course, of course, my co-host Ish picked the Chiefs. He was going back and forth. He actually was thinking about picking the Raiders, but he said he had to pick the Chiefs. Of course, he is a Chiefs fan, and he said he has to be true to the Chiefs, but sometimes being true to your team also might give you an L. So we'll see how this game plays out. But I will say for the Chiefs, if the Chiefs want to get things back on track, this is the game to do it. If not now, then when? The Chiefs, everybody thinks that the Chiefs are just going to find a way to turn on the switch, and the Chiefs keep telling everybody, hey, everything is fine. We just need to get back to playing our football. We're going to find out a lot tonight on Sunday Night Football. We will. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. I appreciate everybody as well for tuning in. Like I said, it's going to be a great day. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the balloons. I appreciate my little ribbon right here. I'm going to enjoy my day. I'm 31. I'm blessed because I have family and friends, unfortunately, that are not here to say that they're 31. So I'm humbled and I appreciate life to the fullest the older I get, and I definitely do not take it for granted the same way I do not take everyone that tunes in on a weekly basis here to watch XTalknIsh. I definitely do not take y'all for granted. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all my family, and we're going to keep on getting better here week in, week out on XTalknIsh, and next season. Hey, we already got some plans for next season. We're going to, like I said, we're going to have some things for y'all. We got y'all. I promise we got y'all. Alrighty then. Next time, of course, you will see us will be on Monday Night Football, halftime show. And then, of course, on Tuesday, our our weekly recap of Week 10 be, of course, at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank y'all for tuning in for our Sunday pregame